Resident Evil has some of the most terrifying enemies in gaming to date, which is why in this video, I'm going to go through what are the 10 most terrifying enemies in all of Resident Evil. Number 10, the mold monsters in Resident Evil 7. When playing Resi 7, I always dreaded going into the basement, and these are why. Their terrifying design, combined with how durable they are, as well as just how they swarm you, makes them a terrifying enemy. Like Resident Evil 7 as a game is terrifying alone, and honestly, Capcom didn't even need to add any enemies into the basement for it to be a scary area. So these guys are honestly just the icing on the cake. These guys are no joke, dealing some serious damage, which is then amplified by just how many of these guys there are. Now, number 9, I've gone with the mutated William Birkin from the Resident Evil 2 remake. Now, I'm including all of his mutations because, it's my video. I can do what I want. Honestly, for me, I found him the most terrifying in the first fight with him. The way he just walks you down in the narrow corridors is terrifying. On top of this, he hits like an absolute bus, making him not only terrifying, but also a tough enemy to beat. I don't want to talk about how long it took me to beat him in the platform fight. It's honestly just sad.
What? No way!
Number 8, Marguerite Baker from Resident Evil 7. Could you just fucking go away? Being under control by the mold, Margarine can control swarms of insects, which is honestly very annoying when playing the game, as the insects just don't leave you alone. However, the scariest part about her is that creepy boss fight when she gets those long insect-like arms. The way she crawls and sounds makes this one of the most unsettling boss fights in the series. Like, holy shit, the way she storms in from dark areas is horrifying. On a side note, the way she's moving kinda reminds me of a monster from the YouTube channel Life for Luxury. Anyways, overall, I think Margaret Baker's uncanny movement and appearance makes her a horrifying enemy. Now moving on to a classic note, at number 7, I've gone with Lisa Trevor from Resident Evil 1. This character is always, to me, given off a very airy vibe. Daughter of Umbrella test subject Jessica Trevor, Lisa was imprisoned and experimented on for decades, becoming grotesquely mutated. A terrifying trait of her character is that she wears the faces of her victims. Yeah, I know. What the actual fuck? The way she groans as she moves towards you is both unsettling and tragic, knowing that she's in actual pain because of her mutations. It will be interesting to see how much scarier she will be if they do a modern remake to this game. Possibly making her a proper stalker would be terrifying. Number 6, the Vertigo from Resi 4 and its remake. This guy honestly reminds me of the Xenomorph from Alien Isolation. The way he moves, runs, and climbs into vents is so similar. When he stops and just sprints at you, it's absolutely terrifying. Like, holy shit, bro, I nearly shat myself when fighting him. Something you gotta love about this segment is some of the things that Leon says when you're fighting him. Like, bro, you're fighting one of the most hellish looking things I've seen in my life and you're just having a laugh. Nevertheless, the Vertigo in terms of fear factor is up there for me for sure. Alright, now at number 5 I've gone with Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village. Or should I say, Lady Double... Now she's quite a unique Resi stalker for 2 massive reasons. Firstly, unlike the other stalkers like the Tyrants, she talks quite a lot.
Stupid man thing! You won't live long, even if you run!
Did she just call me a man thing? Secondly, her appearance. She's over 9 foot tall, pale, and much more human-like, which gives her a different, more unsettling vibe to her. She also gives me the impression that she's got much crueler plans than just to simply kill Ethan. What's also great about her is that she's a proper stalker that roams around her gothic mansion. The setting of her mansion creates perfect horror, as you start to feel a bit relaxed when you're alone, which makes it much more of a shock when she actually does show up. Number 4, the Regenerators from Resident Evil 4 and its remake. Now overall, I wouldn't say Resident Evil 4 is that scary in general compared to most other Resident Evil games. However, this first encounter with the Regenerators, for me, is one of the scariest moments in the entire franchise. These guys are failed human experiments, which are infected with the Las Plagas virus. Their pale, demonic appearance combined with their uncanny movements proves to be outright horrifying. The only way to kill these guys is by destroying the parasites in their stomachs, which are only visible with a specific sniper attachment. What this means is that prior to getting this attachment, these guys are borderline invincible, making them even scarier as all you can do when you see one of them is run. These guys also have variants where they have spikes on their bodies, making them a lot more dangerous. Their eyes also light up in the dark, which when spotted down a dark hallway is a disturbing sight. Coming in at 3, I've gone with none other than Nemesis from Resident Evil 3 and its remake. This guy is without a doubt, minus Wesker, the most iconic enemy in the franchise. A tyrant modified by what's called the Nemesis parasite. This guy's a persistent bastard, relentlessly following Jill around Raccoon City in both the remake and the original game. This guy says one word and one word only. This guy comes out when you'd least expect it. He literally jumps in from the sky at one point. Unlike other enemies on this list, he uses a variety of weapons such as his tentacles, claws, flamethrower, and even a fucking rocket launcher. Like, holy shit, this guy's not messing about. Had his remake kept the unpredictability and been less scripted like the original Resident Evil 3, he probably would have been on top of this list. However, his terrifying design and powerful attacks is enough for me to have him at number 3. And at 2, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Jack Baker from Resident Evil 7.
Welcome to the family, son.
Jack Baker's stalker section at the beginning of Resident Evil 7 is for me the scariest section of the franchise. Like, when I played it, I straight up felt like I was playing an Outlast game. Also being infected by the mold, Jack Baker is clearly heavily inspired by classic horror movie slashers like Leatherface and Jack Torrance from The Shining. The way he talks to you and hollows Ethan's name is terrifying. As the game goes on, he becomes more and more gruesome looking. Not too many games have caused me to get genuinely jump scared, but Jack successfully got me in this scene. Some of you may know that prior to the release of Resident Evil 7, the franchise was at an all-time low and almost dead, which was then revived by the game's release. I think a big reason that made Resi 7 so great was actually due to Jack Baker and how great of an enemy he was in this game. Alright, before I get into number 1, just a side note, the reason why I haven't included Wesker is because although he's a good villain, he's just not very scary to me, and that's the main criteria of this list. Now finally, for me at number 1, of course it's gotta be, drumroll please, Mr. X, more specifically from the Resident Evil 2 remake. Although he was a decent enemy in the OG Resident Evil 2, in the remake he's honestly just different gravy. There are so many different reasons for why Mr. X is the best enemy. Firstly, just his silent, persistent nature. He doesn't say a thing, express any emotion, or look overly scary, which all combines together well to give him an uncanny, intimidating aura. He gives off an impression that all is going through his mind is just to kill you, and he won't stop till either you or him are dead. The most terrifying situation you can be in is you're navigating through the halls of the RPD, just narrowly avoiding lickers and zombies, just to suddenly hear Mr. X's theme song piled with his distant footsteps quickly approaching. His unpredictable nature and atmosphere created from the stalker mechanic creates a unique experience of horror of which I haven't seen in any other Resident Evil game to the same level. You know the saying less is more? Mr. X perfectly demonstrates this in a horror sense. Loud footsteps, persistence to kill, and a kick-ass theme song to go with it is why Mr. X is the best enemy so far in the Resident Evil franchise. Subscribe for more.
I got the shivers.